Okay. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bowl with Value. I'm Valerie Bercier, and this week we have a new topic. We are going to talk about mindset and your mental game with expert Brianna Andrew. I'm going to introduce her after, so stick around and see what we have to talk about.
This brings up by 12. Pass it. Really good look.
All right, we are back here at Sherman Bowling Center. We got Lane 2 back, and we have a special treat. I'm with Brianna Andrew. Like I mentioned, she is an expert in mindset and mental health as it relates to performance on the lanes. She has her bachelor's in social work. She's about to get her master's in mental health counseling. She's a PWBA tour player, and she's on Team USA. Oh, and a lefty. So I'm so excited that she is finally able to be on Bowl with Value. Yeah. So we're going to give the number one mindset issue, I believe, that happens are negative thoughts and how they creep in, stay there, and affect our performance. So what is a negative thought?
Yeah, the
Let's talk
infamous
about that.
question, because I think some people don't even know how to identify what a negative thought is.
Yeah.
And we were talking a little bit before this. We think a negative thought is anything that kind of, what did you say? You said it so well.
We talked about how it was detrimental, harmful, hurtful. It affects your performance in a negative way.
Yeah.
So what are some of the negative thoughts that you have had?
Yeah,
Or that people talk to you about?
absolutely. The biggest one I hear is when it comes to spares, they're like, I always miss my 10 pins, or I'm not good at making this spare, or I'm not capable of making this shot. Typically is about like their performance on the lane.
You say it's so sweet because I think most of it is like, I suck at this spare.
Well, yeah.
I can't do this.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
So you're saying it's so sweet. I'm just not capable.
That's how it's in my
She's
head.
trained for this, you guys. Like, even in the most negative concepts, you can kind of like make it sound positive. So that's what you're here for, to change that. So for example, we actually have a 7-pin out here. If you said like, I suck at 7 pins, or this is my nemesis, or I never make these, or I've missed 3 of them this tournament so far, how do you get out of that? And I'm going to make you make this spare with a positive mindset.
Yeah. The first step is acknowledging that you're having that negative thought. Because I think if you get stuck in this pattern of believing that negative thought, then over a span of maybe a tournament or a league night or maybe a high school tournament, you're probably going to miss them over and over unless something physically is truly going wrong. But typically it is your mind telling you that you're not going to make them. So how I kind of have learned to get myself out of that mindset is first I acknowledge I've had the thought, like, oh, I'm telling myself this. Now, how do I make this a positive thing? And usually I draw on, well, I've prepared, I've trained, I've practiced 7 pins, and I've made thousands of them. So recalling the times I've done it and saying, no, I'm a really good spare shooter, or no, I've made this 100 times in the last 3 weeks. Whatever is like a positive flip to it has been helpful for me.
Yeah. And then something to add to that, which you probably already do, is I just think about it as just a target practice. And so then when you hone in on that present moment of I'm just going to hit my target, not worry about the outcome, then that's it. I had to do it in the tournament this weekend. Because those thoughts, those doubts creep in all the time, even at like the highest level. Especially if like my axe, for example, was hooking a little bit at this place that we were at. So then that thought comes in, do I need to make an adjustment? And I'm literally like, I just get up there, I'm like, it's practice. And isn't there a quote, like, train as if you've never won before and like perform as if you've never lost, or something like that? I don't know if I botched that quote, but I think about like in competition, if you feel that anxiety or those negative thoughts, it's just like, just go back to practice. Like, just practice it, target practice. And so I'm going to make it hard for you.
Please do. Let's make this as real as possible.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't say try to make it. So there's another thing that we can talk about. Try to make it. You either do or you don't.
I'll do my best.
Go make an attempt at it.
Okay.
And listen, Brianna, don't miss it.
Well, I
Don't
would hope
miss
there's
it.
no one at a tournament standing by me telling me that. Unless you're in a match where someone's using
Don't
that.
miss
No.
it. You suck at 7-bit. I'm just kidding.
So what I want to tell myself in this moment is I'm going to hit my mark, like kind of focus on the things I can control. I can control where I know to line up, where to hit on the lane, and how to throw it well. So that's what I'm going to try to focus on. Sometimes the negative thoughts do creep in.
Yeah.
But typically I try to step off if that does happen.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't always become the case, but I try to.
Woo!
So I made it. Yeah, I can spare shoot.
That's so great. Well, and even under the pressure,
Yeah.
the added pressure
Yeah.
of being on camera, I think that adds
That was some
something.
pressure.
Yeah, so then let's talk about that. Like, don't miss it. I can't.
Yep.
Things like that. Or even maybe actually for the first shot.
Yeah.
What if I feel anxious about lining up, or I have this like, oh gosh, I just can't hit my target today? How do you reframe that?
Yeah. Great.
Or actually, well, it's like becoming aware, right, of that?
Yeah, so acknowledging, okay, I feel this today. I feel like I'm not confident. I'm unsure of what I'm doing, and that's okay. But where do I go from here? How do I turn this to be a positive thing and not a thing that's hurting me?
Yeah.
It takes some time,
Oh my gosh.
but you don't have a ton of time sometimes in tournaments or between shots.
Yeah.
But
I just think
Yeah.
about, is it helpful?
Yep.
When you have a thought like that, is it even helpful?
Right.
I mean, will that thought help you perform?
right,
Will it make you score better?
right,
Or even just something like, this ball is garbage.
yeah. People say that all the time.
All the time. Or my ball, this is a 10-pin machine.
Yep.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, it's it's not all of a sudden randomly gonna strike for you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or, oh gosh, there's just so many. I would love if you're courageous enough to put some
Yeah.
of those negative thoughts maybe that you have or that you hear, and then the challenge is to create a positive thought around it.
Yeah.
No matter what, muster up that I can do this.
Right.
Why not me?
Yep.
Why not right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you brought up an interesting point of like feeling, some people, negative thoughts can feel anxiety producing. Not for everybody, but for some people. And anxiety is just a fear of like your mind is telling you there's a threat, something that's going to be negative to you about to happen. So there's this perceived threat of the future outcome. And I think a lot of people tend to have the negative thoughts, whether it's, I'm going to miss my spare because there's weight and importance into what you're doing. You want to score high. You want to do well. You want people to see that you're doing well. So your brain is trying to protect itself by providing a safe negative thought. This makes sense. It's like,
Isn't that wild?
yeah. So you have to retrain your brain to think positively, which,
Oh gosh, and we're going. Yeah, I'm not even gonna throw a shot because I feel like this is great. This is getting deeper, and I'm thinking about we can do in the future like a pre-shot routine.
oh yeah.
To help you get through those negative thoughts and almost make it a routine that you can commit to. There's that I know that helps mentally. And then there was one other thought that I was thinking about. Well, we're going to have a series of some of these mindset mental tricks and maybe even some fun.
Oh yeah. You got to add fun in.
And then how to balk in the middle of your approach. Because I've heard people say, well, I can't do that.
Yep.
I believe you can. I mean, sometimes it's unsafe for some people to do that.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if you practice it, you practice balking, you practice as soon as you step up, if you have those thoughts of like, oh gosh, I'm going to miss this to the right, or I missed this to the right 3 times already. So then, the next one's pulled.
Right.
Step off, take a deep breath,
Yep.
and then step back on.
Yep.
To make your attempt. If you miss, like, it is what it is, right? Then we're going to have another one on how to leave it behind.
Yeah.
Their
Which is
next
not
shot's the
easy.
best shot that you're going to throw. Well, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So changing negative thoughts into positive thoughts.
Yep.
If you could sum that up for everybody.
Well, yeah. So your thoughts lead to emotions, which then lead to a behavior. So if you have a negative thought, odds are you're going to have a negative produced emotion, which then is going to lead to a negative behavior. So the goal is to turn that around and become a helpful and positive thing to you in your game. But I always say thoughts, emotions, behaviors is like a good way to sum up retraining negative thoughts.
Ooh, yeah. And then there's that loop, right?
So a little circle.
If you don't nip it and breathe through it and and learn that shift to I can do this, and even just thinking about what'll work for you, it'll just perpetuate itself. And then all of a sudden you're giving up in a tournament, and that's the worst thing that you can do. If you want to improve, you got to be able to have the right mindset to learn from it and then just move along. Cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, so thankful.
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And for everyone watching, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share with your friends. Let us know in the comments if there is anything you'd like to see. Please answer that question. And if there is anything else within mindset or mental game that you'd like to see in the future, please let us know. And with that, we'll see you next week. Bye.